Howdy how, party people. Information packed video coming up, so pull up your charts so that you can fill in or take notes and add later. We had a great week. I had 4 out of 5. I was 5 out of 5, but after that massive Tesla win, I decided, I don't know why, to play large 0 DTEs on the hopes of a reversal. Into close, I was slightly red, but it happens. Anyways, bygones. We had an awesome week, and we called the price target. We even called Friday's action with a higher price target, and then a bleed all day. Note self, listen, listen and follow. Anyways. And that's why it's good to have these videos, because once you're in the market, sometimes, you don't, we're all humans and not robots, thankfully. And, your mind can play tricks on you. So that's why these videos are also important. So remember, next week, size accordingly, risk management, take your profits, okay? It's going to be a huge week for the market. These next 2 weeks are going to be absolutely massive, so I don't want anyone taking any big hits. And as a rule that we've had for a long time, but we have to follow this religiously this week, and that is, at the end of the day, if you choose to swing, you have to be 90% cash minimum. The reason being, if you have a big gap down, throws your bias right out the window, and you're just like oversizing and trying to get it back and this and that. And I want us to go into every day ready to capitalize on this market. Now, Bitcoin, what's Bitcoin doing? Holding the FOMO crowd's bags. That is a bear flag, so I would think it tests 30 here over the weekend. We'll see. All right, let's get to the juicy stuff. Let me pull up SPX actually. So this green line is my ultimate July target. Okay, it's 4,544. It doesn't have to go there. It can go there. We'll see. It's a huge level. It's the top of September of 21, and also huge level here. So my if it's a blow off top, it's going up here, but I don't think that comes until later, and I'll show you that on the SPY chart. So we have a new range now. Okay, the range is 4,380 here, all the way to all-time high. Okay, that's where the price is going to be within for the remainder of the year, and I'm pretty confident in making that statement, because these levels here are huge. All right, maximum low is filling this gap, which is possible. I have that gap fill on SPY, but let's see what happens here. So if we are to believe our chart, even though everything's saying bearish, you have a few things that are on track for us hitting 453, which again is up here. So we had the cup, we had the handle. Okay, now I would think that we could even get a double bottom here and then retrace like that. Okay, reason being, and I'll show you, we could get something like this here. Okay, and one thing that speaks for it is the daily setups. Okay, I really like a daily crossing on the MACD. Now you could have something like this, but it still went up. So I'm thinking we top out, which is going to be, if you go back here, a top to that cup, and then just looking at where is it? Just looking at this thing here, our chart, this action, I think we make a pretty ugly head and shoulders. Okay, inverted head and shoulders. Doesn't have to be pretty, but something like this. And then we have that August rally, which then I think, you know, is gonna be like 15-20 bucks, and it's gonna test that, as you see here. And that's then when, you know, you're gonna see over a course of 2 months on Twitter, all the bears are gonna come out. But as you see, it's gonna be really trappy and really choppy. So this is when and I wanted to bring this up now again. If we do what I think we do on Monday, because, you know, the fuckery charts show it, if this plays out, boys, and it has for, you know, the 2 months we've been using this chart in particular has been utter gold. And I would almost say, if this works here, it's like when I lived in New York, there was this television minister. He'd come on at 3 a.m. and I would, you know, it's pretty funny. But regardless, this is like full-on divine transfer here, if this is true. So how does this setup work? And I'll have to pull over QQQ here to showcase it. All right, so you see this setup? Not bullish at all, but you got this going on here, right? And there's nothing really, where's the MACD? There's nothing really bullish about this setup except that, and that the RSI is doing that. But again, if half of Monday can hold, I got a perfect example, the same setup. If it can do either this, or even if it does this, okay, even if we get a small one like this, just a few hours, maybe even into Tuesday, this thing can rip and then go even higher, up to like 384. Okay, it's a $5 move on QQQ. SPY's already almost doing it, you know, it's front running a little, and as you can see, that's already crossed. So I would look for, you know, this might even be overnight, guys, okay, and then we go. So this is a very broad trend line, that's the bigger one. So let's look at that. And as far as ES, same thing. The MACD is holding pretty nice. The daily chart, see, we have that daily trend line, the teal one. Until that one breaks, like, we could literally touch it on Monday or Sunday, Monday, and keep chugging higher. Now, what could do that? What could do that? I'll show you what. Here. Did it? Where are we? Jeez, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Okay, we gotta go to this week. All right, here. This China data. Okay? China data can send this market through or they can use that to send it. All right, so we'll know on Sunday what's up, okay? And then what do we got this week coming up? We really don't have a lot in the beginning. Obviously, retail sales. We got some Fed guys out. Okay, whatever. They've been pretty nice to the market. Looks like we only have jobs until FOMC next week. So why not blow off top into FOMC? However, again, our chart says top on Tuesday, and then a heavy decline. Okay, so that's the indices. If you've been paying attention, you know that stocks have been moving separate from the indices. Why is that? Well, because again, this whole rebalancing thing, no one knows a single thing about, which is only to keep the markets high. If they wanted the markets to absolutely crater, they wouldn't be pulling out rabbits out of their ass, rebalancing and doing all this crap, right? So, Hood holding really nicely, I think. Still has, it's even, Monday will show if it reverses instead of being some weird head and shoulders. But, on the daily, can't argue with that. I mean, it's just been absolutely chugging. To what extent will it do it? We will see. Is it getting overextended? Sure, you don't say. Anything else doesn't really matter, right? Microsoft got some buys after hours. The Google chart looks pretty insane. Now, if this daily 9 can cross over, it's going to fill this gap. Daily MACD crossed on Thursday. I know for a fact we're not the only people looking at it. Again, the TTM, if this starts going, that's why I'm kind of being cautious now with our indice chart, because you have to remember this. Where is it? Can I even find it? Oh man. We also have this other seasonal chart, right? This one, okay? And we're right here. It also shows a decline, but not like crazy, okay? So we'll have to keep an eye on now which one of these is going to lead the way. Okay, back to more charts. Zoom also got a significant buy at the end. I think if you look on the daily, this is still gonna go. A daily TTM squeeze doesn't just print one of those and then go back to red. Okay, so keep Zoom on watch. Baba could absolutely fly next week depending upon these numbers. I mean, it had a great week. No doubt everything did. Can still go, and once it starts going, it will fill this gap. So it's not, once it starts going, it's not only going to 100, it should kill the gap. SoFi or Sophie, whatever. I saw Biden had said that he's gonna forgive more money or whatever. So the thing, not to point out the obvious thing, but what does student debt forgiveness even mean? Does that mean that the government pays the colleges? Or does that debt evaporate and the colleges then get some money from the government in a different way? Something that people don't even want to discuss. All right. LMT earnings on Tuesday, holding 480 lottos for next Friday. Don't let me sell them. This, again, we keep in mind here, sure, the indices can go down. That does not mean that Dow Jones stocks that we saw get a bunch of liquidity last week aren't gonna run. That could be the next one they pump. And I mean, if this makes a cup here post earnings, I mean, they have been sending a lot of shit supposedly to the Ukraine. Now, is that true or not? We'll know next week, or if that money went somewhere else. Notable after hours gap up was LRCX. Okay, it got a stick, so keep chips on watch. Just because Nvidia sold last week or on Friday doesn't mean that they can't run it up again. AI, another one that didn't catch any love last week at all. This week, earnings start, Tesla, Netflix, and whatever. I'd be surprised if all of them don't yap a bunch about AI, which then would make this stock soar to 50. So this could be a monster play. Keep an eye on it. It did, even though price was shitty, it did get good volume though during market hours. All right. Again, Nvidia had a absolutely gross Friday. Man, that short would have been awesome. But you know, when we're in a bull market, it's hard to just jump on a name like Nvidia that can just fly and just start shorting it, because you never know when it's going to reverse. Again, if you see the TTM was red, turned green, was green, even though it sold off. Okay, so like, got to be careful with these things, right? UPST did what the indices did. I still think it has a money shot left in it, absolutely. Why? Even though it sold off, do you see that the 9 turning right there? So can easily see 50 soon. This was an awesome play, and then it held, and it literally trapped everyone, and then it just sold off. So if it can hold this level, this is either going to head and shoulders, or if it can hold above 43.40, because it's most likely going to reject that 9, you know. But if the 9 reverses, then it's going to go again up to here, or at least make a inverted head and shoulders. Apple was kind of what screwed me in the end on QQQ, because I saw this happen and I figured Qs would run into close, which they did not. And in true shit show fashion, it did it after. You know, I was in Qs here and I was like, should I sell here? Because I had jumped in here because I figured, you know, to go over. Got slapped down, didn't sell there, and then obviously got that volume after hours. And once my 0 DTE is closed right there. So that was kind of a bummer. Whatever. Qs has the same setup as you, kind of, and again, I went over that. Tesla can run independently from the market. Now, has earnings, usually has a earnings run up. So it's gonna be play number 1 for me. Chart looks absolutely insane, and just showcase what I mean. Earnings here had a nice run up, had a nice run up after earnings. Last time it didn't really have a earnings run up, but we were also chopping in April, you know, and then everybody thought Tesla was gonna go and fill all these gaps, and it's been running ever since. So I would not put it past it to money shot to 313 at all, which is the license plate of Donald Duck's car, for anyone who doesn't know that. So, you know, wouldn't put it past these fuckers. Now, Carvana, they stomped me out here or here from my big position, and then they brought the price up there. And I've been seeing some flow into this. I do think that, you know, Tesla can absolutely send this as a sympathy play, you know, some type of W here. So I'm still gonna keep an eye out. It's got a buy signal on the hourly. MACD is getting ready. Nice consolidation. Is it a shitty stock? Yeah, but it's got 3 inside days and wants to rip higher and can rip higher. Okay, is it a absolutely random violent stock to be in? Yeah, don't play it unless you're a degenerate. So these are the stocks I'm looking at. As far as the tick, closed red on the hourly. Let's check the 5 minute. Closed red on there. Okay, great. Now, okay, brings me, after all that nice stuff and yapping about the future, brings me to something very, very, very important. How do you kill the bears? Well, you set up a bear trap, you get them to buy VIX calls, and what has been the trend lately for VIXpiration, which it will be on, I think, Wednesday or Thursday? It is to absolutely smash down the VIX. Okay? So, is it possible for the VIX to again see these levels? Yeah, the chart says so. The MACD on the 1 hour is turning over. So is the 9. And the daily looks even more atrocious. Because, as you know, once a daily starts turning down, it'll go. So I think this can go lower, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. Oil also looks like it's gonna puke on the 1 hour. The daily is obviously still looking good. I would think it retests down here or here, which is not good for SPY. So that's maybe why you know, all these rando tech companies can be better. So, and obviously let's also touch upon the Dixie made a counter move on Friday. Daily still looks absolutely atrocious under our major trend line here. How low can it go? I don't know, but I do think it'll go and backtest. So maybe that's why our chart says that the SPX is going to puke soon and then rally again. So at this point, the Dixie almost becomes more important overall picture than the VIX. 10-year yield also put on some gains on Friday after being smacked down all week. That's not, why is it pulling up? I hate when it does that. Here again, it is where's our trend lines? Why are our trend lines not on here? Huh. Well, that sucks. But no, is this it? Anyways. Here we go. So on Friday, it backtested this here, and as long as it can puke here or keep under a magic line, the market's gonna go higher. Okay, once it does this again, the market's gonna retrace. All right. I wanted to show you guys this. Largest changes in shares, SHV. Okay, this stock is hilarious. As you can see, they trade 1 cent at a time, these fuckers. That's what they do. Okay, that's how they This is literally what they do. Look at this chart. It's hilarious. SHV. This is what these hedgies do, right? That's how they make money. They buy it up, sell it, drop. So hilarious. Voldy was red on. Why is this doing Oxy? Come on, man. I don't want to look at Oxy. So the trend lately, we had 5 green days. We had a couple red, 5 green days, couple red. So if Monday holds, I think we pop on Tuesday, short term. Then we'll see if our chart plays out or not. And final thing to this video is obviously here, earnings. We're gonna see if these earnings do what JPM did. We'll get a pop on Tuesday, and then the sale starts. In Lockheed Martin, we've got Tesla, Netflix, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America. Could miss with all of them actually. Discover Card we've played many times, usually do. It's going to be very interesting to see what they say, because chances are people aren't paying their credit card bills, and that's not going to be good, right? TSM, seen a lot of heavy flow into it. Could he make a move like Nvidia did? I'm going to be in this on lottery calls. You bet your balls on it. And then we'll see what Discover and American Express do to the market. Then we got Blackstone as well. I saw a lot of puts coming into mRNA, good, and we'll see what happens to these guys. So now the earnings starts. It's going to be pretty awesome what happens this earnings season. And you know me, when it's earnings season, I play earnings based upon this. I wanted to show you guys this. Look at Goldman Sachs flow, and look at its dark pool. Same with Morgan Stanley, except they've been selling Morgan Stanley, especially after that news. We'll see. Tesla, mad flow. They sold the DP on that run. Obviously, I'll keep an eye on this. LMT, they've been buying. As far as the Qs, I mean, I post this all the time. But yeah, they did buy the dip on the flow, and they bought the dip into close. So that also puts the whole bear market narrative out of the window. They did the same on SPY. So I will also be looking at obviously PayPal and SQ and all these, okay? But the flow and the dark pool does not, except for SPY at the end, doesn't really support that a top is in yet. Because as I said, a top usually means that you get a huge reaction, because there's so many freaking sell orders up there just waiting to be liquidated. And we haven't seen that yet. Obviously, this market has never been filled with more fluff and air as it has now. So next week, gonna try to get trade less trades, base it more off of MACDs and the flow and dark pool data, and maybe size into them. So instead of playing 20 trades, I'll probably be playing 5 a day, something like that, if the market is there. And if something extraordinarily happens, I'm going to slam it. So let's keep doing what we're doing. What I learned from last week is when you're up a crazy amount, just freaking stick your hands under your ass. But regardless, I think we've been absolutely killing it lately. All right, I hope this was an informative video. And if something happens, I'll post it in the chat. And other than that, let's ride at dawn on Monday, and let's go for 5 out of 5. And this week's huge. We'll know if our chart is like, again, the shit. So God bless.